And 3, 2, 1. Welcome to The Peaceful Truth, the podcast where we talk about everything from women empowerment, feminism, and everything in between. You're joined by your 2 co-hosts plus a puppy. My name is Kenzie and Meghan and
Meghan God.
And we've got a puppy girl on our hands. If you're watching on YouTube, it's quite entertaining, actually. She's trying to get peanuts out of her mom's hand. She's more afraid of me, so she's not going to come over and try to get him.
We'll see.
Okay, I just had her peanuts. Okay, so Meghan, it's kind of been a minute since we've seen each other, I feel like.
Yes, it has been.
So how was Canada? You were in Canada with your fiancé.
It was so good. We saw Vance Joy. That was a super cool concert. The weather held up. Vancouver's just always a fun place to visit for sure. I feel like it's, I don't know how to say this nicely, but like a classier version of Seattle.
Burn. No, I get you. Maybe
Cleaner version of Seattle.
Seattle has a lot of litter.
Seattle's a dirty city.
It's a dirty girl.
And I think that I'm ragging on Seattle hardcore right now because Hannah got spit on by a man this morning on our morning walk. So yeah. I just feel really...
We're a little bitter.
I feel really bitter towards Seattle. After we came back from the walk, I told Des, I was like, okay, it's time to move to the suburbs. And he was like, what happened? And I was like, a man who was not in his right state of mind, got in my face and then turned and just hocked a loogie on Hannah.
Gross.
So I'm just totally ragging on Seattle right now.
We do love it. It's just...
Right now, I don't love it, but typically I love it.
And if we're purely venting on Seattle, it is acting like it's winter here still.
Yeah, it is.
It is July, and it's 60 today.
Well, they say that summer doesn't come till July 5th.
Well.
So be prepared for Thursday. Should I put the peanuts up? Should we pause?
Let's pause.
Okay.
Okay. So Canada was good.
Canada was good. It was awesome.
Sweet. I got a massage this past weekend.
Oh, you did?
It was glorious.
How amazing are those?
I did a bunch of other stuff, but I'm too tired to elaborate, I feel like. But yeah, it was amazing.
It's
great.
Freaking the best thing in the world.
It was wonderful. And it feels like 2 minutes when you get one done.
Yeah. It's literally close your eyes and then you're like, oh, it's time to get up.
It was a 60-minute one, and she I felt like it was immediately. She's like, okay. And I was like, no.
You were like, can I sign up for a 90, please?
Yeah, I know. Well, I tried, but they were out of 90s.
Dang it.
So what are we talking about today, Meg? I guess it was kind of my pitch for this week.
Yep. We're talking about the Supreme Court Justice Anthony Kennedy. He's retiring.
Yeah. So I was going to kind of go over, I like how we do our outlines while we're in the middle of recording. We say how the order of it's going to be. We literally don't plan. We're just okay, let's do it this way. But I've done a little background research on the different justices and what the Supreme Court means and how it was kind of a swing vote. Did you do that research too? Or
nope.
Do you want me to start off with that?
Yeah.
And then I'll let you lead. So as a review, we actually do have some international listeners on a weekly basis. So
what?
Yeah, we do.
Where are they from?
Sometimes Australia, sometimes
wow.
Japan.
I knew about the Japan.
Yeah.
Wow.
We've gotten some people in California recently too.
Wow.
That's picked up. So, as a review, there are 9 Supreme Court justices on the U.S. court. So there are 9 so that there can be, I don't know, I kind of think that there's 9 because if there's an even call, there's a 9th person to make it uneven. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Honest decision.
Do you think that that's the scientific reason why?
I mean, it seems logical.
Yeah.
So anyway, recently Anthony Kennedy announced his retirement, and he was very often that swing vote. So he was very often the 5-4 vote on several decisions.
Yeah, and I also heard that he is actually not super left-leaning.
No. But we'll get into that in a sec, I think. I was going to kind of just explain the logistics, but he's going to retire officially on July 31st. But the president will nominate a candidate, and then they go through hearings, and then the Senate confirms it. So, yeah. Do you kind of want to go into his beliefs and how it's kind of a conflict, though? It's not like he's conservative, but there's elements to it that make him why this is so monumental for him to leave.
Yeah, so what I read about was that he is actually identified as like a liberal Republican. And so it kind of seems like he is that sway vote, meaning he could go either way. The reason that left-leaning Americans love this guy so much is due to his stance on abortion and LGBTQ plus decisions. And so the left-leaning Americans love him for those decisions. However, he is not always going to go left by any means.
Yeah, the Atlantic says, from the article that says The Last of the Small Town Lawyers by Garrett Epps, says he is a conservative man, but there are decisions that aren't profoundly conservative, like you said. In 1992, this is kind of, I think, one of the more major points and kind of why we're talking about it today. He made a decision to stop the overturn of Roe versus Wade and preserve protected federal right to abortion. He also protected LGBTQ plus from outright discrimination and recognized the constitutional right to same-sex marriage. So on July 9th, President Trump will announce his nomination, according to an NPR article.
So that's what really... Hey, sorry, Hannah was biting your bag.
Oh, that's fine.
That's really what is going to affect us. Like what's going to be next for the decisions that he made, including abortion.
Right. So NPR, this is an article by Jessica Taylor. She says the president said recently that he wouldn't ask potential justices about their position on Roe versus Wade, the 1973 decision, again, legalizing abortion rights. Many who favor the decision fear that a more conservative replacement for Kennedy, often a swing vote on these social issues, can endanger such rights, while Trump's base has hoped he would appoint someone to overturn this decision. But also, and just another thing to add to that is during the election, he said he would only appoint judges that oppose the abortion. Or abortion.
I also, has nothing to do with women's rights, but I was reading about a conspiracy around why he's retiring and why he's retiring now.
Oh, we do love our conspiracies.
So this is, the article was actually saying how stupid this conspiracy is, but I think that it's worth talking about. It's worth noting. So do I believe it's true? Probably not. But at the same time, we love our conspiracies. So it's from slate.com. So Anthony Kennedy's son worked for Deutsche Bank, which is like a huge bank, so much money, blah, 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 when it loaned Donald Trump over $1 billion. So that bank loaned Donald Trump $1 billion during a time when no other bank would loan him that amount of money. So it's kind of like weird. Like, why would Deutsche Bank lend this guy over $1 billion? Most of the time, if they're worth that money, all of the banks would do it. And the bank also plays a mysterious role in Robert Mueller's Russia investigation. So, like, this bank is tied to the Russia investigation, and it's also tied to loaning Donald Trump a shit ton of money for when nobody else would. And the Justice Anthony Kennedy's son worked there during that time. So right now he doesn't work there anymore. But it's just like weird, like nobody knows, like it's just like a bunch of weird things adding up together. And so some people are like, well, Donald Trump must have blackmail on the Sun and on Deutsche Bank. And so Donald Trump obviously wants him out there because he's made some left-leaning decisions and blah, blah, blah. He wants this guy in there to come in and just, get rid of abortions and LGBTQ positive opinions. And so some people are like, well, something weird is going on here. But then the article is like, nah, this is too far-fetched. But I thought I would just point it out.
It's interesting, but innocent until proven guilty, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. We try to be fair on the peaceful truth. So there's another one. There's another one article from NPR that I wanted to discuss. It says what Justice Kennedy's retirement means for abortion rights. And it's by NPR's Sarah McCammon. And this is a quote from Northup of Center for Reproductive Rights. So it's for abortion. They said, I think it's going to be the early cutoff dates for abortion that you're gonna be seen going up to the court that could challenge Roe versus Wade, because Roe versus Wade and its cases that have followed have made clear before the time of fetal viability, it's for the woman and her doctor to make the decision. And these states are passing laws that are trying to radically change that. So that's how they think it's going to go in to the court in the first place. Another way that I kind of heard just while discussing with people today, they think it could go as far as like Plan B, and then as far as birth control if we're down this spiral.
Oh man.
But that's kind of extreme.
Yeah.
So
hopefully this stays that way.
So if cases having to do with abortion could go to the Supreme Court, it could impact the original decision. Those were my last notes.
The Slate article that I was reading that pointed out this conspiracy theory said that they don't think that he was asked to be off the bench or recompensated in order to announce his retirement. They just feel that he wanted to let Donald Trump control the fate of the Supreme Court and that he accomplished his mission. So they're saying that maybe he likes Donald Trump, and because the fate of the Supreme Court is in Donald Trump's hands now, and it's because of his retirement. So that's maybe what he wanted. Will we ever know?
Will we ever know?
Or does he just want to go home and retire and live his life retired?
Maybe he's tired.
He may be tired. But
we won't know unless he does an interview.
Yeah. And I'm really curious to see who the Donald is going to nominate. Which, oh my God, being in Canada, I hate how much slack they give me.
Oh, really?
Well, it'll just be like, it just sucks to hear about the way that people, especially people that I'm close to, and especially like a country that borders us so closely, like what they think of us, It's just not fun to hear.
It's not fun to hear. Well, what's positive happening this weekend for you?
Oh, I get to go to San Francisco for work.
Nice.
And San Francisco is the best city on the face of this planet.
Heck yeah. Well, are you going to go to any fun restaurants? It sounds like it has some fun places to eat at least.
Oh, yeah. I just plan on eating and drinking just whatever I feel like eating and drinking.
You go, sister. This week, I'm excited for July 4th.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to be watching fireworks from the lake.
Perfect.
So it should be good.
Yeah, those are the best fireworks for sure.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening.
Awesome. Bye.
Bye.